We have all been there before, spending hours crafting a survey only to discover that the wording of our questions has caused confusion or influenced the responses of our participants. Chances are, without even realizing it, you've made one of the 6 critical mistakes that many survey writers make. We will discuss these common errors and provide tips on how to avoid them in the future today on Art+Science. Hey there, I'm Kevin Hartman, Associate Professor at the University of Notre Dame and founder of the Art+Science Analytics Institute, where our mission is to make you a better analyst. Crafting a survey can be very challenging. It involves careful consideration and addressing various biases in the design process. However, producing surveys that do yield accurate and useful data means that we have been vigilant and have avoided these potential errors and biases. In this video, we will go over 6 common mistakes that can happen when designing a survey. We'll provide examples of each and offer solutions to help you avoid these pitfalls in survey design. We will also share other important points to consider that will assist you in creating top-notch surveys and gathering the most precise data possible. There are 6 common mistakes that analysts make when designing surveys. Ambiguity that arises from poorly designed survey questions that may not be clearly understood by respondents. Double-barreled questions that combine 2 questions into one, making it difficult for respondents to provide a clear response. Leading or loaded questions that introduce bias by guiding respondents towards a particular answer. Assumption-laden questions that assume how respondents will interpret or behave can also impact the survey's validity. Burdensome questions that are challenging and time-consuming for respondents, which can lead to lower quality responses. And sensitive questions that are asked in ways that discourage truthful response. Let's take a deeper look at each of them now and discuss how you can counter them in the surveys you write. Mistake number 1, ambiguity. Unclear or confusing questions in surveys can lead to ambiguity, causing respondents to have different understanding of the question from what you've intended. For example, a question like, how often do you use social media apps, is ambiguous because the word often can mean different things to different people. To prevent ambiguity, it is essential to use clear and specific language in survey questions. Instead of using vague words like often or frequently, provide concrete options such as daily, weekly, or monthly. This will result in more accurate responses. When there is ambiguity in a question, the answers may also be unclear. Therefore, it's crucial to eliminate any ambiguity in survey questions. Mistake number 2, double-barreled questions. A common mistake to avoid in surveys is asking double-barreled questions. These types of questions try to cover multiple ideas or concepts with one question, which can make it challenging for respondents to provide accurate and separate answers. For instance, asking, do you think our website is both visually appealing and easy to navigate, combines 2 distinct aspects of evaluating a website. To prevent this error, stick to one question at a time and consider breaking down complex questions into smaller, more manageable ones. Additionally, using the word "and" in a survey question can lead to confusion and inaccurate responses. Just avoid using that word at all times. Taking care to avoid double-barrel questions can result in more precise and useful surveys for your respondents. Mistake number 3, leading loaded questions. Certain types of inquiries referred to as leading or loaded questions can influence participants in a particular response and skew the outcomes of a survey. An example of this could be seen in the question, should patriotic citizens support imported vehicles, even if it means losing jobs for American workers? Yes or no? This question is both leading and loaded. It directs the respondent towards a specific answer while also provoking emotions to promote socially desirable responses. A more natural approach would be to ask, do you believe that Americans should buy imported cars? Yes or no? Mistake number 4, assumptions. Survey questions can be influenced by bias if they don't provide enough information or context for respondents to interpret and answer them correctly. For example, the question, do you support a balanced budget, assumes that respondents understand the effects of a balanced budget. Questions should be impartial and avoid any preconceived notions, which allows respondents to form their own opinions without external influence. A better way to ask this question would be, would you support a balanced budget even if it means an increase in personal income tax? Simply presuming someone's stance on a topic can affect their response, so it's vital to provide all necessary details and avoid making assumptions. Mistake number 5, burdensome questions. Asking difficult or complex questions can be taxing for individuals, whether due to the level of difficulty or the need to recall specific details. For instance, expecting an exact number in response to the question, how many times have you had dinner outside of the home in the past 6 months, would be very challenging for a respondent. To avoid this issue, use simpler questions or provide options such as multiple choice or scales that require less mental effort from your participants. When creating surveys, it's important to keep it simple, reduce burdensome and intricate questions. Mistake number 6, presenting sensitive topics in the wrong way. Delicate questions are designed to collect information on personal or intimate topics that may make some respondents feel uncomfortable. For instance, instead of asking how much alcohol did you consume last Friday, provide neutral responses such as options like 1 glass, 2 to 3 glasses, 4 to 6 glasses, or 6 or more glasses. Also, give participants the option to skip the question or indicate in some way that they don't want to answer. What prevents survey respondents from providing honest answers to sensitive questions is what we call social desirability bias. This is when individuals alter their responses in order to respond in a way that they think they're expected to respond, no matter what the real truth is. What social desirability bias looks like to an analyst is a survey where respondents have exaggerated positive behaviors or downplayed negative ones. But we can reduce social desirability bias by using a technique called randomized response survey. This process works by asking the respondent a sensitive question and then providing them with a randomization device, such as a coin. The respondent is instructed to flip the coin and answer yes if it lands on heads, regardless of the truth. If the coin lands on tails, they're instructed to answer truthfully. This increases the likelihood of honest responses, as the respondent knows that their response is going to be bucketed in with a number of random yes responses. For example, if I ask 50 students, have you ever cheated on a test before? Some of them may feel uncomfortable revealing this information, even if I assure them that their responses will be totally anonymous. By using a coin and the RSS process, we can estimate the probability of cheating in a much more accurate way. We expect the coin to have a 50% chance of landing on heads. Therefore, half of our responses will be random yeses. To compensate for this, we subtract 50% of our total responses from the yeses we collected. We then focus on the responses that are remaining, and that's what we analyze. So in this example of 50 students, I would first deduct 25 yeses from my tally, since I knew that those 25 yeses would have just been random yeses. Any yeses that are left over, I can expect to be very truthful and accurate responses. Effectively, I cut my survey population in half, but I increased the accuracy of my remaining responses by limiting social desirability bias. Other considerations. To ensure accuracy, the survey should begin with simple, easy to understand questions. This not only helps build rapport with the respondent, but also sets the tone for a less burdensome question experience. For tough and important questions, it's best to place them in the middle of the survey. At this point, the respondent has already made a commitment to completing the survey and is much more likely to provide honest and thorough answers. Sensitive and demographic questions should be saved for the end of the survey. This allows the respondent to feel comfortable and at ease before being asked these personal questions. In order to make the survey appear shorter, various techniques can be used, such as utilizing a multiple grid layout. This format organizes similar questions and response options into a grid-like structure, which makes it easier for respondents to navigate and respond in the survey. Creating a successful survey is crucial in obtaining reliable data. To do this, it's vital to focus on clarity, removing any potential biases, and ensuring a smooth process for respondents. By implementing the guidelines discussed in this video, you will improve the design of your surveys and gather more precise data. And always keep in mind, accurate data equals accurate analysis. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, take a moment and subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share it with anyone who you think is interested in data analytics. Every single week, we are bringing new, exciting, and important videos on data analytics to this channel. We would love to have you there for the journey. Be sure to check out the links in the description below for additional art science resources and sign up for our newsletter to get exclusive tips, course updates, and more directly in your inbox. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.